one of the things that I wanted to reiterate from last time, from the end of the class last time, is that it doesn't have to be overwhelming because most of those connection points don't require much maintenance. Most of the things that you might share with somebody don't require much maintenance. I share a faith with both of you who are in the class today. We're all Christian. We all have some kind of faith. We all are the exact details of that faith we don't necessarily share, but we don't have to. Because that's not a critical part of our relationships, it doesn't require a lot of maintenance. We don't have to keep looking at that particular value to see if we still share it. I mean, it'll come up sometimes in conversation, but it doesn't require us to pay attention to it. It doesn't require us to put a lot of work into making sure that's still something we share. It's just absently there. It's just an assumed shared value. Therefore, we can just have that bridge exist. It doesn't need to be maintained. It doesn't need to be shined on. We don't need to bring it up all that often. If it comes up, great. It's an interest point. It is a shared interest point, but it doesn't need to be looked at a lot. And quite honestly, in healthy relationships, most of our bridges will look like that. Most of our bridges will be just absently shared interests. They're things we shared fairly early in our relationship, or they're fairly unimportant or low value values. They're important to us, but not of high importance. They're not top 3 or top 5 or even top 10 on our list. They're just some things that we share. So we don't want to put a lot of effort into maintaining that particular connection point. If it's connected, great. If it's not, oh well, we don't care. So most of those bridges that we create, most of those connection points that we create, they don't require much of our attention throughout the relationship. So that should help with the overwhelm. There's only actually between 2 and 3 and maybe up to 5 bridges that we will want to focus on and or build. Communication is a bridge that many people are trying to build in their relationships. Whether that's friendships, whether that's partnerships, whether that's your spouse, your boyfriend, your girlfriend, your husband, your wife, whatever. Communication is often one we're trying to build, but the communication bridge requires effort often on both sides. Almost nobody gets that right the first time. But that's still a bridge that we kind of communicate over, that we can create and build together. But so that one requires a little attention. But maybe if you're talking romantic relationships, maybe sex is a bridge we have to put some attention in and work on and make sure that it's aligned. For many couples, it's not. It just naturally happens and it's good. But for some couples, you have to put in work. In friendships, often one of the things that you have to put in work in is which other friends do we hang out with? Is it just the two of us? Or can we hang out with my friends or your friends? Or is there other people we also like? So there are some bridges that you'll want to put some maintenance into, that you'll want to put some work into to create and build. But that's only a handful. And those are the ones that require work. But if that's all you're connecting over is the ones that require work, then there's no joy. There's no peace. There's no love. There's no fun. There's no reason to be in a relationship if the values you're trying to share are all the ones you have to work on. In order to be in a relationship, there has to be some connection points that don't require much work. I'm there because I like this and this and this about you. We share this value, we share that interest, and we don't have to work at it. We just are both interested in those things. So in the case of many bridges versus one bridge, that's kind of the logic behind why I had many bridges in the first place.